Cookie Run Kingdom. Dear God. From a distance, it just looks like a standard mobile game, but when you see the fandom, you'll never be the same person again. Some of these freaks think the cookies are hot, man. What catastrophic event could have left the fandom like this? Well, let's see, with the twisted tale of Cookie Run Kingdom's fall into sin and the hellscape that followed. Cookie Run was a rather popular mobile game franchise made in South Korea by a company named Dev Sisters. The games were okay, the first one is Lost Media, and they were mainly just running from left to right. There was a Candy Crush clone, but no one cares about it. All in all, Plants vs. Zombies is better. But we aren't focusing on the games, but the people around them. From what I've seen, in the oldest eras of the franchise, like 2012, the fandom was actually kinda cool. Sure, there had to be some toxic parts, every fandom has them, but in these simpler times, the fandom was a place of peace. But crap hit the fan as soon as a new game was released in 2021. This right here was a game that caused all of the degeneracy and evil the fandom is infamous for. This is the hell that is Cookie Run Kingdom. This was when stuff got real ugly, real fast. Cookie Run Kingdom was pretty much its own fandom, mostly separate from the rest of the Cookie Run community. This is why modern day Heaven Break is still pretty chill while today's kingdom is hell on earth. The toxic parts of Cookie Run Kingdom is still mainly in the west though, the eastern part of the world is normal. But it was already quite screwed up for the toxicity got to it for both sides. Tiger Lily Cookie is just one of the many racial stereotypes in the game that Dev Sisters got away scot-free with. Kingdom was doomed from the start. Now, here's the thing about toxicity. Fandoms don't turn people toxic, they attract toxic people. But what things lie in this game to lure these degenerates in? The cookies themselves, especially the unholy trinity of Cookie Run simping. Latte, espresso, and almond. Latte because of how hot they can make the fan art, almond because they're all fatherless, and espresso because they can turn into a femboy. The initial simping of these three vile idols led to the widespread practice of Cookie Run worship. Cookie worship is a term I made up on the spot that means a Cookie Run player that loves a cookie in the game to the point of obsession and mania, especially with sexual love. Almost every member of the Cookie Run Kingdom fanbase practice cookie worship to some degree. Speaking of the fanbase, they're all feral. I'm not talking about the ha-ha or such Pikmin wacky fart noise feral. I'm talking wild animal foaming at the mouth after goring a child feral. And they are as chronically online as you can get. Look at this cookie, and guess what pronouns it had. Didn't guess it was just them? They would send death threats and who knows what else after you for that. This is even more miserable when you realize that some cookies' genders are different depending on the translation, making mix-ups like this even more probable. Don't worry, it only gets worse. We have to talk about the fan art. And when I say fan art, I mean whitewashing. They take a character with a dark skin tone and make him look whiter than the paper they drew it on. I don't think I need to explain why this is wrong. And then, the art combines with the shipping. I think I need to use an especially cancerous event to explain how bad this got. A while back, around 2019 to 2021, a Valentine's Day event happened where people could submit fan art and whoever won the fan art got showed up by Dev Sisters. The lesser half of this controversy was that people were submitting ship art of children. It doesn't take a genius to understand that children shouldn't be in romantic relationships, and why drawing art of that will give you a one-way ticket to the darkest pit of hell. And then we have the worst half of this incident. Dev Sisters ended up picking art made by artists that are probably gonna get raided by the FBI pretty soon.
Hold him for questioning. Check his hard drive for child porn.
This is already a cesspit of misery at this point, so of course Dev Sisters had to screw it up even more by exploiting minorities. They have done this little trick on Twitter that we in the industry call queerbaiting. Step 1. Pick 2 characters from your game. Step 2. Make them look like they're gay. Step 3. Get loads of LGBT people to go to the game. Step 4. Never actually make them gay, effectively cheating an entire minority for your own sick kicks. Step 5. Profit. And they've done this 5 times on Twitter, and guess what? Nobody mentions it except some random guy on TikTok I saw one time. And the worst possible thing happened. An event that multiplied the pre-existing toxicity tenfold. An event I call the Great Merge. The Great Merge began when Cookie Run Kingdom got noticed by a certain conglomerate of degenerates, Genshin Impact fans. Which Genshin Impact fan are you? The pedophile, the pedophile, the pedophile, the only one there with the brain, or the... But why would Genshin Impact fans, the elephant's foot of the internet, go to Cookie Run Kingdom? There are 2 reasons, actually. Number 1, it's a mobile game. Number 2, the fandom of Cookie Run Kingdom is very similar to Genshin's, with similar issues and similar toxicity, thus making it less like an alien takeover and more like just a collaboration. And number 3, loot boxes. You see, Genshin Impact is a ripoff of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild that denies the Tiananmen Square massacre and has a gambling addiction. Both Cookie Run and Genshin Impact have a slot machine-esque gacha game for unlocking characters. You put in some and the game decides what character you get based on random chance. The main difference between Cookie Run and Genshin's, however, is that Cookie Run's gacha has a much better chance of giving you better loot than Genshin's. Thus, the foul neckbeards decided to abandon their waifus in Genshin for a pastry in exchange for better rolls. This, combined with Dev Sisters constantly pumping out a brand new waifu for these freaks to devour every chance they can, allowed Cookie Run to be a new grazing field for these guys, thus sealing Cookie Run Kingdom's fate of unending toxicity for good. If you look at Cookie Run Kingdom now, it's probably one of the saddest sights you can see on the internet. It's as toxic as ever now with the combined power of the original Kingdom and newer Genshin fans. None of the issues I've talked about have been fixed, and the Discord servers are no man's land. Scam bots amok, probably illegal art splattered on the walls. It's pretty much a crack den. But a much more haunting sight is what's happening to the rest of the Cookie Run fandom. Being so close to Cookie Run Kingdom to the point of being in the same franchise is like being stuck in a room with a zombie. You're gonna get infected. There is no hope for Evan Break. This is how a fandom dies. I guess that's how the cookie crumbles.